British Columbia has a ton of lakes, but there's one that's particularly noteworthy, and you'll probably never go there, nor have you probably ever heard of it. Not only is this lake the deepest in BC, it's the second deepest in Canada, the third deepest in North America, and one of the deepest in the world. This is Quesnel Lake, and when I said you'll probably never go here, you will probably never go here. It is very difficult to access, it is very difficult to build on. It's a tributary to the Fraser River. The Quesnel River flows through Quesnel, British Columbia, into the Fraser River, down through the Fraser Canyon of BC, out into Vancouver, into the Fraser Valley. Just a few kilometers away from Quesnel Drive, on the west side, which shares its name with the town that I grew up in. And I was lucky enough to be able to spend a lot of my childhood out here, because this is where my grandparents lived. I didn't realize that not everybody's grandparents lived in a place like this. It was a 3-hour drive from the town I grew up in, on roads like this. You'll understand why I'm so adamant about car culture. When my grandparents bought this place in the 70s, they only bought the cabin. The land was leasehold, and they were able to buy that lease out. And I don't think that's very common. I don't think that happens very much nowadays, if anybody can tell me that. But there is very few places on this lake to build, because it's a fjord, it's a glacial lake. The terrain is so extreme, and it's very difficult to access, which is why you've never heard of it and why you'll probably never go here. And that's a shame, because it's beautiful. It's stunning. I was so lucky to be able to grow up out here, and luckily my parents still own this place. My grandparents were both from this area. They both grew up here as well. And like I said, I didn't realize that most people's grandparents didn't have electricity. I didn't realize that most people's grandparents didn't have to build the roads that accessed their house. But that's the BC that I know, and that's the BC that I come from.